Why, hello, all around the world. Welcome back to yet another, and I'm sorry about that, yet another episode of New Blender Guy Gets Himself into way too much trouble trying to make really intricate stuff. Just kidding, we're fine, we're fine. I've made more complicated stuff, but not much more complicated. This has been quite the project, so if you're here, you must want the game that you're making to be made well, just like I do. Um, I plan on making a game where I can disassemble computer parts and reassemble them. I won't give away some of the major features because there's quite a few games out there like that, so I'll just say that much. So, what I want is most of these things will be attached to our motherboard, and then maybe we'll make a couple of versions of the motherboard for we can have different colors, different sizes for different cases and things like that. But first we'll just finish the case for this, and then we'll just erase the back piece of the motherboard. We'll copy everything, move it back a bit, attach everything, and then we'll delete this and make a new one. Just for we can make it interchangeable, basically. I don't know what your projects are, and I don't know what you're working on, so hopefully this applies to you and this helps you in whatever ways. Before we get started, make sure you thumbs up for I keep making videos like this. If nobody's liking them, it's not much point, but I think a lot of people are, and they're watching them, they're getting help and all that stuff. So make sure you like and you subscribe, and I'll keep on pumping this stuff out, and hopefully you guys can use it all. Alright? Alright. So let's get started today. See that we got our GPU mount set up last time, and I left it optional if you guys wanted to do two or just one. Shift D, two, easy enough, right? Just give yourself a gap for you're not hitting your RAM if you can when you put your GPUs in. They're right on the edge. Maybe what we could do is bump that up. There's going to be a little working things around to make it work, guys. It's just the way it goes. Like that, because I think we're going to have to bump those guys up too. 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to drag them a little that way and bump them a little up that way. Okay, something like that anyways. Try and make it work, try and make it make sense, I think this makes a lot of sense so far. One thing we're going to have to do, Shift A, mesh, we'll do a cylinder, turn it sideways, wrong way. Sorry, my bad. I thought it was that one. Let's be facing a different axis in this one. Shrink her down. Okay. Find a good space away from everything else so it's in a good place. Okay. There's going to be enough room in here for me to do what I need to do with this, because we're still going to have to do some plugins and connectors, things like that. And no, I don't know how I'm going to do it. We'll just figure it out because we're smart. And sometimes when you plan ahead for this stuff, it doesn't always work out. I'd rather just do it on the fly and just make adjustments as we have to, and hopefully we don't get to a position where we can't go forward. So far it hasn't happened, so looking pretty good. Okay, what I'm doing is just making this smaller than the mount because this is going to be our battery. So switch to arrows and then Shift D it and just pull it out. I don't think we need it to be that thick, obviously, so probably make it a lot thinner. But we need to punch out the hole, so make the hole like that. Okay, cool. Alright, and then this one we'll just make a bit thinner as well. This will be our actual battery, okay? To give it just a little bit of a look to it, so it actually kind of looks like a battery. Hopefully this will work. Remember, I don't practice this stuff, but we're just going to do one side like this, okay? And then we'll take our arrows and we'll just pull it out just a little bit. So it makes everything bevel up to a flat edge, basically. And if you really wanted to, just to give it more texture, you could do another one. But I think that's pretty good. You could take it in, maybe. I know it kind of looks like a cert now, but you do you. Make it look good for you. Mine kind of looks like a cert, but you know what? That's going to be my battery. If I need to replace it, it's a circle, so it's easy enough. Okay, so we've made a battery mount now because that's going to hold all the basic settings for our system. So if there's a power outage or something like that, then all the settings are going to be safe on your motherboard, and that's why they put these batteries here. And that's why sometimes if your motherboard gets old enough, you got to replace them. It's just to basically just keep enough current inside of the system to run your basic memory and not lose certain things like your settings for your GPU, things like that. It's the best way I can explain that, just for you know what it does and everything. Okay, so maybe just to make this a little easier to see, we'll also color it for we know what's going on in here. So just go here, we'll go new, go to white, and we'll change it to black, right dark black like that. Okay, flip out edit mode. Oops, I keep hitting the wrong button, I'm sorry about that. And then that one's probably pretty fine like that. You can see it in there anyways. We can change the color after, but it does only need one color, so it's not going to be a big deal. Okay, so we got our battery now. We would probably want to do... There's going to be little capacitors and stuff like that, but let's just get our big parts in first, and then we'll run some of that crap on the back of the motherboard just to make it look better. But I think we got most of our look here. Like, you might want to flatten a block out completely or copy this, just the face, and shrink it down and just pull it out a little bit so you can make like little electrical lines running everywhere, you know what I mean? But honestly, most games, I think this is pretty good, probably better than most games. So if you've gone this far, you're probably looking pretty good, I imagine. So what else do we need to do? We need a CPU plug-in, so maybe we'll make that. I don't know what else I just said, something else, but I forget already. So S to shrink that down. CPU plug-in's pretty easy. It's going to be pretty much a square, but we're going to have to make a shape inside of it for the actual plug-in. So hopefully this works for you. I'll show you what I got in mine. Usually they're a perfect square. Oh, we'll have to make a motherboard power plug-in too. Shift D. And there's probably going to be lots of little things I'm forgetting, but just use your imagination, right? What was I making for this? CPU plugin. Alright, so I'm just going to do that. Okay, when I'm happy, maybe I'll drag it back just a little bit to give it more depth. We're going to bool it. Okay. And yeah, that doesn't exactly look like it. I get that. But let's go ahead and Shift A. And we'll make a cylinder. You know the right 90. There's another way to do this where you can just push R 90 and it'll change it, and then you just push whatever axis you want, but I always find that it gets set just slightly off and I really don't like it, so oops, sent it 90 meters away, my bad. That's the one. So it's not going to be perfectly in the middle. Oh, it is actually. Well, I guess I am on the axis. Perfect. Get a little cross on which projects are doing what, because I've got quite a few going now that are really long series, and it's a little confusing which pieces are which and all that fun stuff, right? So what I'm going to try to do is just make... Ooh, shit. I dragged that right out of its axis. Sorry. I meant to just bump it forward, but shrink it, shrink it, shrink it, shrink it. Something like this. Maybe a little bit smaller. Okay. Maybe a little bit longer. Okay. Something like that. Make sure you're plugged into the actual back part of that. You're not just hanging free out there. Now, since we are on the axis on this piece and we haven't moved things, maybe we'll start building some things on the axis where we could take advantage of that, by the way. And then moving it over when we're done the piece would be a little smarter, probably. So we'll do this, and then we'll hit enter. Perfect. Okay. Shift D, and I think we're perfectly up and down too. Let's just test. Yep. Okay. So I'm just gonna add a 0 or minus there. Shift D, and it'll probably just look a little bit better. Like, it's probably not gonna be much different, but then you can kind of see like it's gonna be just more. What be symmetric, I guess. So it's just going to be better overall, right? So what we're going to do, we'll go ahead and attach this because, oh, no, wait. We'll do one more piece. We're going to do a cube. Okay. S. Let's move it down. Let's move it out. S. Down. Up. S. Probably wondering what we're making at this point. What we're going to do is do that little clip on the side so it locks it into place. You hold the clip and it's basically, you push the clip out and it should be able to pop out, right? It's just a little tooth inside that holds it in, but we don't need to make the tooth. We just need to make the look, right? So people look at this and they go, yeah, yes, that is a power for a CPU. A powering intake for a CPU. Alright. Did I already attach those? No, I didn't. So we're just going to attach everything. I guess we could have just made that either way, but I just wanted to be safe in case we had to bool. And again, I don't plan it out, so I just kind of go. Alright, so that's probably a little big, you're probably thinking, and you're definitely right. So maybe we'll do this, and we'll take it over here somewhere. Maybe like this, and then just a little smaller, okay? When you're at the right size, and you like your size and everything, make sure it's just going into the motherboard, or just touching it, okay? Perfect. That's exactly what I want to see. Maybe I'll take the time to color it, just for we can do this private coloring before it's joined to anything. So just go new, and we'll make the first one black again, because most pieces of plastic are black. Okay. Then we're going to click off everything, and we're going to hit L, 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 L. Now you got a couple different choices. You can make this a gold color, you can make it a steel color. I think gold makes the most sense. It's most used in connections and computers. Because I believe out of metals, well, it would be gold plated technically, but it's going to give you a gold look. But I believe out of metals, it's the most conductive metal. I could be mistaken, but I think that's why they use it. It makes the most sense they use it in computers, but again, I'm not an expert. That's just the general thought I have. So I'm going to go copper or gold. Depends, whatever, right? But again, the color doesn't matter so much. It's just assigning a color to these. So now when we bring it into game, you can put a separate color on those four than the rest of it, right? And that's the biggest, most important part. It doesn't so much matter if you match the color in here that you're going to want in your game, because it's going to change once you import it. Right? Right. Okay. So that looks really good, actually. So maybe we can steal that method to plug in our motherboard, which I would assume was over here. Okay. It's 24 pins, so I think it's 2 rows of 12. If you want to be exact and do it exactly right, and we just kind of steal the idea that we did here, we just do it up there, right? So let's do that real quick, maybe. And not seeing a whole lot of comments on this series, but I am seeing that people are liking it. Make sure you thumbs up it, and I'll keep going. But feel free to say some comments if you feel like something's missing, or you'd like to see something, or you need help with something in particular for your project. I can do my best, obviously. I'm still kind of fresh at Blender a little bit. I'm not even a year in, but I have a pretty creative mind, and I can usually figure things out, or a way to do it that most people wouldn't think of anyways. I'm sure some of you out there are like, I would, but and I'm sure you would. I don't doubt that, but I just feel like if we start sharing videos like this with each other, then we can give each other so many ideas we just never thought of, right? And that's all I want to do is help you with your project. Shift D, we'll copy it once we're ready on the size. And hopefully this does help you in some way. So I'm just going to S, go down a little bit till I'm happy. And then, yeah, that's fine actually. And we'll bool it out of there. It doesn't have to be the exact size because we got to put all those pins in. So if you need to stretch it a little taller or something, it's not going to really make too much of a difference. Okay. Maybe we'll do this. We'll put our pins in, we'll attach them, and then we'll shrink it to the right size, okay? I realize it's a little big right now. Maybe go in a little this way first to start. Okay, so we'll make a cylinder. As always, we'll flip it, and I think it was second one. We'll find out. Oh wait, I can't see our piece. That's wrong. So 0. I guess it's this one. My bad. S. S. Stretch it out this way. S. I make a snake sound when I do my S's. S. Snake, snake, snake. Alright. And I hope you guys are all ready for Halloween. You're all ready to have some fun if you're young, and if you're older like me and you don't really do Halloween. I hope you know to turn your lights off or the kids don't come to your door. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Alright. So we got one in place basically, right? We're going to have to do 2 rows of that. Keep it in mind. Keep it away from all the edges. Shift D when you're ready. And we'll just drag it up a bit. We've got to do 12 in this row, so maybe we'll do 2 now. Okay. So 4 we can do now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try and keep them as evenly spaced as you can. But chances are you're going to have to change the shape a little bit after and stuff like that to just move them around a little bit maybe. So now we have, what do we need? We need 4 more. D, because we're 2, oh, I did the wrong thing. Because there's 2 rows of 12, right? So Shift D. And I'm very sorry if I got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure the count on them is 24. I used to do a lot of computer stuff, like, but recently I just found it moves so fast I can barely keep up with it, to be honest. So nowadays I get my younger brother to help me with that stuff. He's a bit of a computer whiz, so pretty lucky in that way. I actually taught him, and then I got so old that I didn't understand a lot of this stuff, and then now he teaches me. Isn't that weird? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But he started helping me rebuild computers when he was, I don't even know how young, probably 11, 10. So the kid by now, he's well into his 20s and he knows his stuff so good. So another thing we're going to have to make sure is that all of these pins that we've created, and I know this one was a bit complicated, guys, are the right size and they're not hanging at the front. You just want them set in just a little bit like that, and then we'll drag them in like that, make sure they're not coming through the back, and I think we're good. Maybe edit, go back, grab them all again, then grab the piece, then Control J. And now if we change the shape, they should move together. So I realize this is a little bit smaller, so I'm just going to try to shrink it like that for I don't make any of the circles different at all until I'm happy with the size and shape. I think it's around that. You may disagree. Go ahead and adjust yours accordingly. We all have our own looks and we all see something different when we look at the same thing. It's a lesson it took me a very long time in life to learn. So let's go ahead and color it. I'm a very logical person, so if people don't see things logically, I am so confused by the whole situation. But I realize not everybody's me, and we're all seeing something different. And so we're just going to add a second color. I'm in edit mode, obviously. So I think that when you try to keep that in mind, it helps you understand other people, and it just makes things a little bit easier for understanding why people are doing the things they're doing in life. Because everybody's got a different path, different way, and that's fine. Alright, we're just going to hit plus again, new, make them a goldy copper color. It doesn't have to be that color, it could be any color. We're just giving it a slot to take color basically, right? Oh shoot, I messed that one up. I meant to do that, and then do this one. Sorry about that, guys. That's better. Sorry about that. You can delete it if it feels messed up or something and make a new one. Up to you. But for me, I've got my look. I've got my pens, right? What's next? Well, I'll tell you what's next. So I think we're okay to keep this here. We're gonna, oops, have to be careful that the GPU doesn't hit it. Okay. And we're gonna have to reserve some space for, what else am I missing here? I don't know what else I'm missing. Let's go ahead and do the GPUs and maybe it'll come to me. How far are we into this video? I wish I had a timer set. You know what, let's end here and we'll do GPUs in our next episode. Now we've done our connectors and that way the video's not dragging on. You guys aren't mad at me. One last thing you could do before you go really quick, sorry. Take this piece, drag it over, drag it in the middle, shrink it a bunch, and we're just going to make one of those tabs we made on the rest of them. Just for it makes sense, right? That you could, because of course there's going to be a tab here for releasing the main power pin connector, 24 pin power connector. So just real easily when you're okay to do it, go ahead, pop that in, and then wheel it up for it just sticks up over. Make it a little thinner, make it a little taller, make it a little thinner. Okay. When you're happy, do something like that. When you're happy, just go ahead, grab that, and Control J, and yes, it'll change color. Probably good though. Okay, sorry, I thought I'd include that. At least that piece is done now. We got both our releases for them. Okay. Hopefully you're having a good time with me. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and make sure you thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll catch up in the next video where we'll get our GPUs done, and we'll do some RAM sticks. I don't know what else there is. Maybe I'll have a peek at a motherboard online if I don't miss anything. But if you can see some things that I'm missing besides RAM and GPU, go ahead and let me know. I know we got to make a power thing, but that's not going to be on our motherboard. It's going to be in the power case, so, or in the PC case. So let me know. Anyways, hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you next time, I guess. Peace.